So this lesson is about overriding members. So what is overriding members? So it's nothing but a feature. So we have seen that in inheritance, the child class can access the members of the superclass. But if some methods available in the superclass, if you define the same methods in the child class also, because we want to have some additional functionality, and that is what we talk about overriding. So for example, in the previous lesson in inheritance, we've seen current account and also savings account are the two type of accounts we have. Both are child classes of account. So account have got deposit. In current account, we need to get the transaction count, which is not required for the savings account. So transaction count is nothing but if you perform a deposit or a withdraw operation or get balance method, what we need is the transaction count to be increased. Apart from adding the amount with the existing balance or deducting the amount from the existing balance based on the functionality, we need to add some additional coding also in the current account. So for that purpose, we should define the same methods in the superclass in the child class. Whatever the methods are there in the superclass, if you want to add some additional functionality, we need to define in the child class also, and that's what we talk about overriding. And this is the way in which we achieve runtime polymorphism. So in the lesson we will see about polymorphism. As a practical scenario, when you see overriding test, derived obj is equal to new derived, creating an object. So this is what the two overridden members. So altogether, the object of derived have got four members, A and B of its own and A and B of the superclass. Now when you run this, we will get A value of derived, that is 11, B of derived 22. And obj.display, this statement get executed. So let me run this. So when you run this 1122 in derived class, 1122 again 1122. But what I need is, we want to access, so when you create an object of derived and accessing the display, control will come here. From there, we want to access the members A and B of its own class. If you want, you can say this keyword also, this dot A or directly B. And the same way we want to access the members of the super. For that purpose, we use a keyword called super. I'll say super.a. So it will access A of the super. That means base. The same way super.b. Super.b. Super is a keyword of Java. This acting as a reference of the current object. Same way super reference. Now what happens when you say obj.display, the control will come to this class display method. In derived class, this dot A, that is 11, B 22, super.A, what is the value of super.A? 10 will be the value, super.B 20. And if you want to call from here, we want to call the display method of the superclass. So this child class object should be able to access its own members and also the members of the superclass. So for that purpose, we say super.display. Super.display. Now you run this, we'll get the output as 1122 of this line of code. Display method in derived class, this dot A 11, B 22, super.A value is 10, super.B 20, super.display, it will call the display method of the superclass. So because of that, we are getting in base class 10, 20. So inside derived class method, if you use super, that refers to base because base is a superclass. And when you see class base, is it a child class? Can you use super keyword inside this display method? When you see this class, there is no extends keyword. But remember, in Java, every class is a child class of java.lang.object. which is treated as the first class of the Java APIs. Collection of classes, there should be a starting. The starting class is java.lang.object. So just to show you, I'm just creating a new class called test. I'm just creating a class called test. The Eclipse is telling that what is the superclass of test? Java.lang.object. So every class, a child class of java.lang.object. The reason is Java. So every object have got some common functionalities like some sort of locking, toString, hash code. So comparing two objects, these are all common methods which is required for all objects. So rather than defining that common methods in each and every class separately, what Java made a class called as java.lang.object, and they made a rule that every class what you create should be a child class of java.lang.object. So that is why we say the default inheritance in Java is a relationship. The default type of relationship is a relationship. So when you see the command prompt, we use java p java.lang.object. So these methods are accessible for all the objects. So I can use, in simple words, in this display method also I can use super keyword, and that super refers to what? Java.lang.object, and these are all the methods that we are able to access. So this is what we talk about overriding. Hope you are clear with this one. Happy learning.